So all of you, please cast a horoscope and put the heading as Shani Bhagawan in the 4th house. You need to complete Shani Bhagawan in the 4th house. So please cast a horoscope, and in the 4th bhava, as per the Kalapurusha, because for people who are joining in new, for students who are joining in new, I would request you to kindly refer to the previous 2 sessions on what the concept is. The concept is, irrespective of which sign Shani is positioned in, as long as Shani Bhagawan is in the 4th bhava, immediately your mind should go into Kataka Rashi or Kataka Rashi and start predicting. So this applies to all people, those who have Shani Bhagawan in the 4th bhava or the 4th house. And it also applies to those who have Kataka Shani, which means Shani in Kataka Rashi itself. So please cast a horoscope while I just connect the Mac to the iPad. Okay, let's put the heading as Shani Bhagawan in the 4th house. And it's also applicable for those who have Shani Bhagawan in Kataka Rashi. So okay. So Saturn, Shani Bhagawan here. Okay. So if Shanishwaran or Shani Bhagawan is in the 4th bhava, where all would he aspect? All of you one by one. Where all would he aspect?
Virgo, Capricorn, and Aries.
10th bhava and Lagna.
He would aspect Virgo,
1,
which is
6,
Kanya
10.
Rashi. Good. Then he would aspect the 10th bhava, which is Makara Rashi, and he would aspect Mesha. Right. So for people in the northern part of India, let me mark this. So if Shani Bhagawan is in the 4th bhava, right, he would aspect the 6th bhava, that would be the 3rd aspect. He would aspect the 10th bhava, that would be the 10th, that would be the 7th aspect. And he would also aspect the Lagna, which would be what? The 10th aspect. See, here it is very, very important. One is you're taking notes. But here, it is not that you're going to remember all this by rote. Rote is, unfortunately, all of us have been taught from childhood to mug up things, to memorize things. That is not the way you learn, because if you actually proceed to do that, you will find this just as data, cluttered data, that is not going to be of any use to you. The moment you understand the concept, the moment you understand the logic, 4 to 5 points, you will be able to go about and give 4 to 5 beautiful, on target, impeccable points. The only thing that you need to remember here is you just need to understand the logic, which means what? Again, kindly register this logic in your mind. Shani, Shanishwaran. Who is Shanishwaran? Shanishwaran is considered as the Karma Karaka. Shani, Shani Bhagawan. He indicates my occupation as well, right? And the Graha, which indicates the occupation, is in the 4th bhava. Think, imagine. First, you start imagining and start thinking on your own. That is when you will be able to go about and create points, not mugging, not just copy pasting from the book. So Shani, who indicates my occupation, is getting into the 4th bhava, and he is also aspecting the 6th bhava. What and all does the 6th bhava signify? The first thing that should come to your mind is Udyoga. Then obviously I have given you so many details about the 6th bhava. He is also aspecting the 10th bhava, which is considered as the bhava for my occupation. He is also considered as the karma sthana. and he is also aspecting my lagna, right? So this is what should come to your mind, right? So observe carefully while I'm giving you the points, while I'm giving you the predictions. As I'm giving you the predictions, you should be able to connect the logic, and I would also be giving you the logic, and you should also ask me what is the logic behind this for each and everything. I'm there to give you the logic. So please, please don't memorize things, right? So number one, the Jataka will pursue his own occupation. The Jataka will pursue his own occupation. So does it mean everybody has to do their own business? Not necessarily. But remember, in their head, why am I referring to the head here? Because Shani, who indicates occupation, is aspecting the lagna, which indicates my head, is aspecting the 10th bhava, which indicates the occupation, is aspecting the 6th bhava, which indicates the udyoga. So even if I'm working under somebody, throughout the time, my plans will always be about, you know what, I should do something to do with my own job. I should do something on my own. Even if it's a small thing, I should own this. I should do some form of a work on my own. So this is how it is. Right. Now, the Karaka Graha, which indicates your occupation, is in the 4th bhava. So now you write the Jatakas, Jivana will be related to the Jatakas. Jivana will be related to land, property, vehicle, clothing, teaching, agriculture, medicine, food related business. So he will pursue an occupation pertaining to these departments only. Why? Because what I'm doing, I'm connecting Shani with whatever the 4th bhava signifies, right? Again, there would also be people who pursue the business, what their father did. What their father did. So the Karaka Graha for your occupation, Shani, is in the 4th bhava. So occupation related to the 4th bhava. What is it? Housing, land, property, vahana, agriculture, teaching, all of this will be there. Shani is also aspecting the 10th, right? Shani is also aspecting the lagna, which is the 10th aspect. Shani is also aspecting the 6th, which is the 9th, 10th. So obviously, something to do with what? Pursuing the father's occupation will also be there in few cases. This will what be there as far as occupation is concerned for them, right? This is what they will pursue. When we are referring to textiles, immediately you should come to garments, all things related with textiles. Why do we take textiles for the 4th bhava? The 4th indicates clothing. Cloth, in order to go about and protect your honor. Remember, we discussed that while we were discussing about the karakatwas of the 4th bhava. Next. The Jataka will be living in an old house. Will be living in an old house. Your house, 4th. Where is Shani? Shani is in the 4th. What does Shani signify? So obviously this person would be living in a old house. Number 4. Number 4. The Jataka or native, the Jataka or native will be unhappy with the house he is living in. The Jataka or the native, both of them mean the same. Okay. Will be unhappy with the house, residence, if you want to put, he or she is living in. Number 5. Number 5. Many people who have Shani in the 4th bhava, many people who have Shani in the 4th bhava will leave their own house, and be living in a rented property. They will have their own house somewhere. But what would they be doing? They would be living somewhere else in a rented property. Number 6. Number 6. The house occupied by the native, the house occupied by the native will not be maintained. Will not be maintained. In that you continue. In that you continue. The house in which they were born and raised will be broken and torn down. Will be broken and torn down and would lack maintenance. And would lack maintenance. Number 7. Number 7. The Jataka. The Jataka will dwell. Dwell means what? Live, basically. In forest area. In forest area or near a forest area. So let us say somebody has Shani in the 4th bhava and he is living in the city. So even if he is living in the city, his house will be surrounded by trees, bushes, creepers, plants, which means that area itself will be like a forest area. Inside the house, there will be creepers, plants, vines, all of that will be there inside the house, right? Surrounded by trees. Which means even if they are living in the house, inside the house itself, it will be like a forest. Surrounding the house also, it will be like a forest. That is how it would be. So what would they say? They would say, inside my house, big, what do we say? Bugs, beetles, frogs, snakes, all of them do guest appearance and go, right? That is how their house will be. Number 8. The Jataka will have poor health. Will have poor health. They will keep having some health issue or the other, right? Number 9. Number 9. They will live apart from their parents. They will live apart from their parents, or they will live apart from their spouse, or they will live apart from their spouse. Either what would happen is husband will be living in one side, wife will be living in one side, right? or they will be separated from their father and mother. So if it's a boy, if it's a Purusha, what does it mean? He will be away from his spouse, that is his wife. If it's a Stree, what does it mean? She will be somewhere, husband will be somewhere else, he would be working somewhere else. Right? Number 10. Number 10. The father who, the Jataka's father, the native's father, will have poor health, and will have medical expenses. Will have medical expenses. Who? The Jataka's father. Number 11. Number 11. For a few of them, the state of the father, will be severely affected. Can anybody tell me Shani and Kataka Rashi? Which year was Shani and Kataka Rashi? Does anybody remember? 2004, 2005 born children. Immediately you should be able to predict. Right? Number 12. The mother will be a hardworking woman. Number 13. One of the co-borns with the mother will have putra dosha, or would have gone missing. So one of the co-borns with the mother, either putra dosha or they would have gone missing. You write down all the points. I would be giving you a logic behind that. But as you're writing down the point, you also should come to this thing in your mind. Why is sir telling like this? What could be the logic behind it? As you go on and connect, you will also get new answers. And you can also educate me further with your new answers, right? So somewhere in the mother's side, child, that will be an issue. Or child will be, no, not child, or in the mother's side, the co-born, that will be missing somewhere. Number 14. The Jataka will worry about heart disease, and will have one accident. The Jataka will worry about getting heart ailments or heart disease and will have one accident. Number 15. The native or Jataka, whichever way you want to write, you can write, will benefit owing to vacant land or property. The Jataka will benefit, he will get benefits, he will derive the fruition owing to a vacant land or a vacant property. Number 16. Will get a land near a crematorium or a graveyard. Somewhere they will get a land, or wherever they call as their residence. Nearby there will be a crematorium. Nearby there will be a graveyard. Right? Number 17. The first marriage of the native, the first marriage of the native will have delay, comma, will have separation. This comma is not or, this comma is and. So the first marriage would be delayed and there would be separation. Number 18. Number 18. The native will have a picture of a deceased. Deceased means, put in bracket, a person who's no more, a person who's dead. The native will have a picture of a deceased person in the house. What they would do, they would keep a picture of a deceased person in the house and they would offer prayers of worship, or they would offer worship. Right? Number 19. Am I going fast? Are all of you able to write? One of you unmute yourself. All of you are writing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes means, is it fast or all of you are able to write? Am I correct?
Yes,
No.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are able to write.
No, sir. We are able to write. Able to write.
Are you able to write or are you telling I'm not able to write? Which
Sir,
point have you
able
missed, ma'am?
to write.
Okay, fine. All right. There will be adoption. There will be adoption in the mother's side, or there will be adoption in the mother's side, or there would be early deaths in the mother's side. There would be early deaths in the mother's side. Don't put deaths, death, right? Should not frighten other people. There would be adoption in the mother's side. What do you mean by adoption? Either going for adoption or taking somebody on adoption, or early death in the mother's side. Number 20. Number 20. If the fourth bhava lord is weak, if the fourth bhava lord is weak, the health of the native will be extremely poor. Will be extremely poor. So if the fourth bhava lord is weak in the horoscope for him, and Shanishwaran is in the fourth bhava, remember I told you, Shani in the fourth bhava itself, health is poor. On top of that, if the fourth bhava lord himself is weak, then the health is extremely poor now. That's what you need to predict. Right? This is what you have for Shani Bhagwan, Shanishwaran, Shani Maharaj in the fourth bhava. Right? See, basically, if you see Shani in the fourth bhava, or for that matter, even if you see Shani in Kataka Rashi, same to same, right? What will happen? They will be living somewhere in the outskirts of the city, outskirts of the town. Near the place, there would be a crematorium, graveyard, right? Somewhere near the forest area, or an old house, unmaintained house. That is where they will call their residence. The place where they were born, raised, and grew up, that place will also lack maintenance. Again, point number 15. Either the height of the road will increase, the height of the road will increase, How can the height of the road increase? Obviously, they would keep putting tar or do something to maintain the road or reconstruct the road. So automatically, the height of the road from the house will increase. And the level of the house will be far below the level of the road. The road will be somewhere high up. The house will be what? Somewhere below. That is how their place of residence will be. Right? So it will look like they are living somewhere
Sir,
in a pit.
please repeat the last line.
Either the height of the road will increase, which means what? They will reconstruct the road, rebuild the road, right? From where? From the house. And the level of the house means I'm referring to the house, the foundation of the house. That will be far below the level of the road. That will be far below the level of the road. So if you have to ask them, somebody, a direction to their house, they will say, go straight, go right. There'll be a road. Just if you go below that road, there will be one house. That is their house, right? Ma'am, did you get it, ma'am?
Yes,
Ma'am?
sir. Yes, sir.
Logic is clear, no, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Understood.
See here, health issue. Why health issue? Fourth bhava is considered as the sukhasthana. So I've told you all, at no cost, sukha should be spoiled. Here, in this fourth bhava itself, you have Shanishwaran. That itself is a minus. And from that fourth bhava, where is he aspecting? He is aspecting the sixth bhava, which is considered as the sthana for Roha. So immediately, health issue will already be there for them and it will continue to be there in some form or the other. Now, closely look, which is the ninth bhava here of the Kalapurusha Dhanusha. From the ninth bhava, which is the eighth bhava? The ninth, eighth bhava. Which is the ninth, eighth bhava, respected students?
The fourth bhava.
And
Kataka.
who's there?
Bhava.
And who's there?
Saturn.
Saturn.
Is it good for the father?
Father's life. Yeah. Long
Yeah, is
life.
it good for the father?
Longevity.
Is it good for the father? The ninth, eighth is occupied by Shani. So it is not good for the father. He will be having some problem or the other. Do you get it? All of you? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So what will happen to the father? Write down. The father will have court case. Court case means in bracket you put court case or litigation. Accident, danger. One of the other will keep coming, right? Alternatively, the father will undergo health issue or some surgery. Do you see in some families, back to back, when the father would be, going to the hospital and they would perform a surgical procedure, right? Immediately pull out the horoscope and you will see a combination or a permutation like that. Shani signifies hard work. It is in the fourth bhava, which indicates the mother. So the mother will be a hard-working person. The mother also, she will also have some health issue or the other. Why did I tell that, this person will be separated from the parents? See, the fourth indicates the mother or the matrusthana. In that you have Shani. There you have Shani. So the moment you refer to, separation, somebody not having a child, somebody going missing. All of this is associated with Shanishwaran. This is simply the qualities of Shanishwaran. So wherever Shanishwaran is there or Shani Bhagwan is there, he would obviously have to carry the qualities. So the fourth obviously indicates your mother and people in the mother's side. So the moment Shani goes there, all this naturally has to come. Of course, I would give you another logic, but if I give you that other logic, you will just get stuck onto that. The fourth indicates the mother. The fourth's third becomes the sixth, which means mother's co-born, mother's younger sibling. And there, the fourth's third becomes the sixth. The fourth's third's eighth becomes the Lagna, which is Mesha, and Shani is also aspecting there. So now you should not come to the conclusion, mother will have a younger sibling, only that younger sibling will have problem. No. In the mother's side, generically, there would be something to do with problem associated with sibling, either in the form of Putra dosha, else somebody will be missing. Again, another logic which can be applied is fourth's third. That third's fifth becomes 10th, which is Makara. Let me just mark it for you, where Guru gets into a debilitation. Logic, but I've seen that in many cases, not just the mother's younger sibling, somewhere this circle called as the mother's side itself gets hit, which means the Varga or the mother's side will have problems like this. Next, why did I tell that something pertaining to a separation as far as marriage is concerned will be there? Shani's 10th aspect, I have told you all on and off. Shanishwaran's 10th aspect is to the Lagna. So the first marriage would be delayed. The first marriage will also not fructify, right? Or will stop. Or it could just be the wife is one side, the husband is one side, and they will live a separated life from time to time. Separative tendencies will be there. So all those who have Shani in Kataka Rashi also, it applies to that. Write down another additional point. See here, the 7th bhava is the Kalatra Sthana, correct? And Shanishwaran or Shani Bhagwan is in the 7th, 10th. So when they are getting married, either when they are getting married or after they are getting married, there would be a death in the family. There would be a death in the family. 7. And in the 7th, 10th, that is in the 4th, you have Shanishwar. Right? So always keep this in mind. These are not points that you need to mug up. You're writing them in an order so that you remember them by heart. But you need to remember the logic, because only when you remember the logic, you would start imagining, and you wouldn't need the assistance of a teacher like me, nor would you need the assistance of a book as long as you understand the concept. Shani, what does he signify? Shani, who's the Kala Purushas? Which Bhava Lord? Which Bhava Lord? Where is he? He is on the 4th Bhava. What does the 4th Bhava signify? Where is he aspecting? This is very, very important, because now Shani is having 3rd aspect. Shani is having 7th aspect, right? Shani is also having the 10th aspect. So what are the bhavas he's aspecting? 6, 10, 1. This is what we are making the prediction. And it cannot get easier. It cannot get simpler than this, right? So always remember the aspect. The Jataka, next point, the Jataka will have cold related issues, wheezing, or dangers associated with water. Why? Because ultimately Shani is sitting in the fourth bhav, which is a Jala Rashi. So apart from the aspect, right, the aspect of 3, 7, 10, you obviously need to look at where is Shanishwaran sitting. He's sitting in the fourth bhava, Kataka Rashi, which is a Jala Rashi. So some people, especially astrologers, they would tell astrologers who have a good amount of experience or a certain amount of experience, they would say that, you know what, in a young age, make sure that you don't allow the child near the water. When you're going in some area where there is a lake, pond, or even a parihara punya sthala, make sure that you're careful with the child when you're traveling, going near a water body. Right? This is something that you need to keep in mind. So how is Shani in the fourth bhava? How is it? How are the logics? All of you, how's the logic for each one of them? Can anybody share? Whoever has Shani in the fourth bhava, Shani in Kataka Rashi, Uma Deepak, go ahead.
Sir, my sister has Shani in the fourth bhava. Exalted, meaning it's in Libra, but the main aspects are spot on. Her first marriage was called off at the very last minute, so that's
Right.
true. And she does live near a forest.
Ma'am, just to interrupt, but Shani is exalted,
Yeah.
ma'am. What will you predict for that then? You should also think
She's
that way
happy
also.
in her marriage.
Good.
So
No.
the first marriage was called off, but now that she's married, she's very happy.
Good. So you should also be able to link this also. I will let you know that how to link. Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Continue with the points. Continue with the points. Then she's
She
living
does
near a
live
forest
near,
area.
even though she lives in a city like Bombay, she still lives near a forest because surrounding her house there are mountains and trees and creepers and vines. So that's 100% true. Even though she lives in a city like Bombay.
How is it, ma'am? Can I have a round of applause? Can I have a round of applause?
Yes.
Right. Anything else? Anything?
Yeah.
Any more
Thank you,
predictions? Sir. Yes. But ma'am, you have to understand the logic. You have to understand the logic. That's of primal importance. Don't just go and listen to the points and just utter the points. This is not just to ma'am, it's for all of you as well. Understand the logic. What is the logic? Why? Shani, forest area. So either you will be living in one forest. Not everybody will come and tell they are living near a forest area. You should not backtrack from your points. A graha with its karakatwa has to go about and perform its act or duty in the bhava he is positioned in the house he is positioned in the Rashi he is positioned in. So you're not living near a forest. The house itself will be like a forest. Go. Yes, sir. Snake is coming and doing guest appearance one day. Frog is coming and doing guest appearance another day. Bugs, beetles, insects, all of them are coming and doing guest appearance one day. Yeah, that's what I told you. So never, ever backtrack from the points. Right? Next, Jayant Ayya. Go ahead, Ayya.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ayya.
Sir, in case of females, as long as they are not married, the point that they will be living in the old house may be true. But after marriage, they may shift somewhere else and that house may be good.
Okay, I will tell you that. Don't worry. Right, I will tell you that. Don't worry. Just continue. Right. But do you have any other questions? No, Ayya. No, Ayya. It will remain. I will tell you. I will give you some more points with which you can actually go about and hit to the bullseye. And wherever Ayya, no, let me complete. Ayya, wherever they go, see, I am a Stree, I have Shani in the fourth bhava, I get married to Mr. So-and-so. Does Shani from the fourth bhava shift to some other bhava? Ayya?
No. No, that is not
So
possible.
wherever I call the house, this is how my house will be. I will tell you more
I mean,
points
it may
on.
be unmaintained.
Yeah, that will be there. I will give you some more points on how to get into the exact GPS location of the house. GPS location. Don't worry.
And another thing, sir, if Saturn is not alone but with other planets, then it may be modified, the effect.
Yeah, Shani in the fourth bhava, predict.
It
Another
has to be
graha in the
alone.
fourth. No. Wait. Shani in the fourth bhava, predict. If there is some other graha in the fourth bhava, predict for that graha. Take the grahas independently. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning, right? When it comes to combinations, then you combine the grahas, right? Again, I'm repeating it. Yeah, Shani has a quality. Am I correct?
Yes.
Shani having a quality is going to the fourth bhava, right? He has to do what he is supposed to do, right? Now, there is another graha in the fourth bhava. He also has a quality. He will do what he is supposed to do. This is second part. Next is, what about combinations? Remember, we are not talking about conjunctions, at least from our course of study. We are talking about combinations. So tomorrow when somebody is asking about his job, when somebody is asking you about his chittappa means uncle, when somebody is asking you about his elder sibling, then you look at the combination. Or let us say if there is a Shukra, if somebody is, and let us say Shukra is ahead of Shanishwaran, Shukra Bhagwan is ahead of Shanishwaran. When somebody is asking about how will my sister be, how will my wife be, how will my aunt be, then you look at combination. Do you get a yeah?
Oh, yes.
Yes. All right, good.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. PX955.
Sir, can you repeat the logic behind two marriages once again?
I will let you know that. Don't worry. I will let you know that. I will continue. You have to write down something also pertaining to that. So I will let you know. PX913. PX. Network is very poor, ma'am. Network is very poor.
Scopes where Rashi Parvatan. Can you hear me now?
Kind of, ma'am. Go ahead.
So I've got two horoscopes where Shani Dev is in exchange. There is a Rashi Parivartan. Do the some of the results are not matching with this? Does that have an effect?
Yes, possible. No,
okay.
Definitely possible.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other question? All right. So can we predict all this for people, those who have Shani in Kataka Rashi? Yes, absolutely. You can predict for all the people, those who have Shani in Kataka Rashi. For all the people, those who have Shani in the fourth bhava. So for new students who are joining in, don't think that, I'm predicting for Mesha Lagna if Shani is in the fourth bhava for Mesha Lagna. No. Irrespective of whichever Lagna you have, when Shani is in the fourth bhava, remember the Kala Purusha, right? He will act, or he will be like the chassis or the chases, whichever way you pronounce it, right? It is the chases of the bus. It is the chases of the lorry. Right? So the entire structure or framework of your horoscope is based on that. On top of that, what body you build, for the bus you build body, for lorries you build body. That is different. That is the additional fitting points. But this would be the prediction 99% of the cases. It won't change, right? That's how it would be. So always keep in mind the logic, because if you forget the logic, then it becomes a mugging up exercise. Don't do this mugging up. Don't do this memorizing. You have the notes so that tomorrow when you have to teach other people, you remember and you teach properly. That's the reason notes are being given to you, for you to actually, or I'm making you all write down the notes so that you have access to it. But you should remember the logic. Sheila, ma'am, go ahead. Sheila,
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, ma'am.
Yeah. Sir, if Shani is seated in the 4th house, but in the 5th house, but in 0 degrees. But if you look at the Bhava, this thing, it is coming in the 4th house. Would we consider Shani is in the 4th or 5th, sir?
Ma'am, Shani is in the 4th or 5th. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about the Bhava Chalit chart. I'm not talking about the
Okay.
rectified chart.
Okay.
We are
But
just
it's
taking
0 degrees in the 5th. Then
0 degrees in the 5th also you apply. You apply and see.
okay, sir.
How do you know if it is there or not? Apply it in 0 degrees and see. If it is
Okay,
not,
sir.
then go to the 3rd Bhava and see. There you will get a
Okay.
scope of rectification. But in our course of study, we are not going to touch the Bhava Chalit chart. Only when it comes to Dashabhukti predictions, I will teach you how to use the Bhava Chalit chart. Next,
Okay,
in the
sir.
advanced classes, when I'm going to use Krishnamurti Pathadi as a tool, not even as a system,
Okay.
as a tool,
Okay.
we would move to the Placidus system just for using the KP system. That's it. But
Okay.
otherwise,
Okay.
all predictions should be based on the Rashi, right?
Okay, sir. And Shani's third aspect falls on the 6th house. So it would be the same. So if the 4th is Lagna, then we need to consider the younger sibling for the 6th, right?
Remember, I told you that, ma'am. In the mother's side, basically here, I've given you the
Okay.
logic, the basic logic,
Okay,
so that you
okay.
can actually focus on the younger sibling of the mother. But that does not
Oh,
mean
youngest
in the
sibling.
mother's side itself, there will be these
Ah.
problems. Why? Because remember, the 4th indicates the mother. Shani is in the 4th
Okay.
Bhava. So on the mother's side itself,
Okay.
these type of problems will be there.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. See, all of you, any other question?
No, sir. No other questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question, sir.
Who is it? Rohini ma'am. Rohini ma'am, go ahead, ma'am.
Sir, there's a basic question. See, one person's husband has Saturn in the 4th house. The wife has Guru in the 4th house. They are living in the same house. So how should we say?
Ma'am, who is considered as the man of the house?
Say the man of the house is the whatever.
The man of the house will be a man, or at times it can be a Stree also. The house may be registered in her name. It's my house.
So on both the names, register jointly.
You will have to combine both of them, ma'am. It's as simple as that. What did we discuss for Guru in the 4th Bhava? So he will like to maintain a house in that way. He will like to keep a house in that way. The wife will like to keep a house in a certain way. That's how it is.
So my observation is it is a joint name, and whatever the man of the house has 4 Saturn and everything matches that way. But the woman has Guru and Sun in the 4th house, which doesn't match with the overall.
So how is it? Do you get the logic now, ma'am? Ma'am, do you get the logic? But it can be the other way around, no, ma'am? I can be a Stree, I can own the house also.
Yeah. Okay, I don't understand.
Ma'am, you're telling the man has Shani in the 4th house. The Stree has Shani in the Stree has Shani in Guru in the 4th house. All the points for Shani in the 4th house is matching because he owns the house.
Yeah.
But there can be a time when a woman is in charge of the house, she is owning the house. So that time also you can alternate and predict. That's why I'm telling. Do you get it, ma'am?
Yes.
All the points are coming now, ma'am.
All the points are coming.
How is it, ma'am? How is it?
Very good, sir.
Simple, ma'am. Simple ways to predict. Simple, easy ways to predict without complicating anything. Right. Okay. Any other question? Anybody else has a question? Somebody raise hands before you. Please raise your hands before you ask questions. I think it's PX8, PX918, PX99. Who has a question?
Sir, logic for living in rented property?
Ma'am, Shani is occupying the 4th Bhava. So they will leave their house and they will live somewhere else. They won't be able to enjoy the Sukha When you have a own house, what is it considered? It is considered to be comfortable. No, ma'am. Ma'am? Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
The fourth
Yes, yes.
bhava is your sukha. When you own a house, what do you call it? It is a sukha. Shani, who is considered to be what? A natural malefic, is in the fourth bhava. He is aspecting the sixth bhava, which indicates what? Rented property.
Rented.
So you would leave your property and you will go and live somewhere else. It can be for many reasons. It can be for many reasons. Right? Is it there, ma'am?
No,
Ma'am,
sir. No, I don't.
You don't have Shani in the fourth bhava, or it is not there?
No. I don't have Shani in both.
Okay. Many of them you will find, many of them, not all of them, many of them you will find, they will have owned the house, but they will be living in some rented property, owing to varied reasons. PX 930.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, I have Saturn in fourth bhava. I have Saturn in Cancer, not in exactly fourth bhava.
Okay.
Though
okay, ma'am.
More in second grade too. But my father, he's 74 now. He never had actually he had litigation, he had all he had, but was never there.
Basically telling the father did not have any issue. That's what you're telling.
No, I'm not.
So you should be careful, ma'am. You should be careful. That's all.
Okay. All right.
That is one.
All right, sir. Okay. And sir, in the case of exchange, how much does it imply? How much you need to take? Like I have exchange with moon. So how much does it imply?
Completely, no, ma'am. You take the graha and put it there. Not literally. Don't do it literally as I'm telling. You take this graha and put it there. Take that graha and put it here in your mind, not in the horoscope, and then predict.
All right, sir. Got it. Got it.
So that could be reason number one. Reason number two
I thought
is
so.
check. Reason number two will check the strength of the fourth bhava. Who's the fourth bhava lord? Is he strong? That will also have contribution, right? Because the 9's 8th, how is he? Is he strong? He is aspected by a Shubha Graha. Check that also. Rule is rule. Rule won't fail. If the rule is not working out,
My mother has.
Go ahead.
Right. Because my mother has all the problems in the world. So, but my father never had any health problem.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So you check that. So you check the Parivartana aspect and check the strength of the fourth power. Right?
Right, sir. Right.
Next. Next. Shushmita Day, ma'am. If you're done, please put down your hands. Else.
Yes, no, sir. I want to ask why there will be adoption in the mother's side and there will be early death in mother's side, sir?
These are all the qualities of Shani, ma'am. Shani is adoption. Shani is what? Shani is considered as the karma karaka, obviously. Right? So all these are the qualities. Shani indicates, missing, lack of maintenance. All of these are the qualities of Shani. So you're taking the qualities of Shani and putting it in the fourth bhava. That's all simple.
Okay. Understood, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Surajaya, go ahead.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Actually, I joined late today, but I just want to share one horoscope. Actually, I have a horoscope where Saturn is in the fourth house, and this person is very rich, but he live in a rental property alone.
How is it?
Away from his family.
How is it?
Means he has a Mercedes, but still he wanted to live separate from, in an aloof, separate from his family. So it's very shocking, and I met that person yesterday only. So I was thinking this, why this person is living alone. So it's fantastic, sir. Fantastic.
Wonderful. See, Shani is aspecting the Lagna Bhava. Of course, what it means is one more thing I will share with you. But Lagna indicates you. Shani indicates what? Solitude. What is solitude? I want to be alone. Leave me alone. Right? That is the quality of Shani. Right? Next, Jayantagiri Ayya once again.
Yes. Suppose if the Tithi Shunya Rashi is in the 4th house with Saturn, then it will modify the results.
Yes, sir. But remember what I spoke about Tithi Shunya. Apply the rule as it is for Tithi Shunya.
Because some points are not matching, so I was just thinking.
Right. So, Tithi Shunya, I've given you separate points. No, yeah, what for Tithi Shunya for each of them. So you can use that. Right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Anybody else has any questions? Please raise your hands. Okay. I want you all to listen carefully. Because here, first you should understand and give your attention to the subject. That's of primal importance. That's of great, great importance here. Because the moment you understand the concept, you understand the logic, always keep this in mind. A graha won't keep arrears. You can keep arrears in your examination. I can keep. No, you're all big people. I can keep arrears in my examination. But a graha won't keep arrear in its examination. He will have to do what it comes. Till the time your breath is there, he will have to execute its duty and go. That's the way it is. Even when there is a parivartana, the certain quality associated with the graha will be there. But it is just that at the nick of the time, there will be a change. Especially in the Nadi school of thought, when it comes to parivartana, I have told all of you, after a certain age or during the dasha bhukti of the graha, immediately the parivartana starts working. Right? So, but please do keep the concept or the logic in mind. That's about it. Now, one more question, one more doubt. PAX 99. Go ahead. PX 99.
Okay. Sir, you initially mentioned that the 3 aspects, that is on 6, 10, and 1. So the Jatak native will think about, working independently or, I mean, self-employment, something like this. So it will be going on only in his mind, or it will be fructified. I mean,
he will do his best to fructify it.
Okay, fine. Fine, sir. Okay.
Right. Okay. See, getting back to the points, getting back to the doubts that you may have, and the person who raised a doubt. Why is it that something to do with the first marriage is a problem, right? One is, okay, Shanishwaran is aspecting the seventh. Okay, that is one logic. 7th is Tula Rashi, correct? 7th is Mesha Rashi. Okay, fine. That is one way to look at it. But remember, I told you this rule. Shani's 10th aspect indicates second marriage. Shani's 10th aspect indicates second marriage. Whichever is in the Shani's 10th aspect, that will have second marriage. So whatever is there in the Shani's 10th aspect, right? Here, who's in the Shani's 10th aspect? The Lagna itself is there in the Shani's 10th aspect. So who will pursue something to do with another marriage? The Lagna, the self. This is the logic. Please write down these small rules, small logic, so that you know when to apply. Suddenly, when somebody asks you a question, this could be a quick, easy, immediate response to people who ask you quick questions, right? Shani's 10th aspect, the graha in the Shani's 10th aspect, whosoever, which means obviously as per the bhava as well, signifies 2 marriages, or what we call in Tamil as Irudara Yogam. Irudara Yogam. See how funny it is. The second marriage is considered as a yoga, right? Next. And it is for some people good also. Let's say the first marriage does not work out for them. It is considered to be a great blessing. So if Like I will give you an example. Shani's 10th aspect, there is a Mars. So the person's sibling, younger sibling, has something to do with the second marriage, which has operated upon in his life. Right. Now, why am I taking mother's sibling? See, it is not mother's sibling alone. In the mother's family itself, right? Why? Because Shanishwaran is in the fourth, which indicates mother's side, which means the fourth does not just indicate your mother. If you have to go a little deeper, obviously the fourth indicates your house. So whoever has Shani in the fourth bhava, right, near the house, this is a proper way to actually find out. Near the house, so you're telling, no, Shani in 0 degree, Shani in 1 degree, whatever it is. Let's do a check. You should do a check like this. Shani is in the fourth bhava. So near the house, 1, there will be somebody who does not have a child. There will be somebody who does not have a child, or who is unmarried, or who is unmarried. Okay. One is there will be somebody who does not have a child. I can also give you one example. There is one person, right? But before that, what should you predict? Near your house, 1. Is there somebody who does not have a child? He will say yes. Or is there somebody who is not married, or who is married 2 times? They will tell yes. Right? These are the points that you can actually go about and predict, not just for Shani in the fourth bhava, but for all those who have Kataka Shani. An example, a daughter has a Kanya Lagna. So daughter means she marries and goes somewhere. Right? And Shani is in the fourth, right? So near the house, this side of the house, there is one person who's not married, left side. Right side of the house, there is one person who does not have a child. Next to that house on the right side, there is a 24-year-old child. Why am I calling this child 24-year-old? Because this child is mentally challenged. So all this you will get accurately when you start predicting using a simple, easy technique. So wherever you go, you shift from this place and go to that place, the attributes that Shani has will follow. That is, will be there. Again, in the mother's family, right, there would be somebody who has a putra dosha. Why? Because Shani. See, Shani itself means 1, it indicates something which is all the gunas of Shani you actually need to go and put in that bhava. So 1, going missing somewhere, not having a child, all of this will be there. Getting married again. Why? Because again, you also need to remember Shani is in the fourth bhava, where Mars, who is considered as the Mangala Karaka, is getting into a debilitation. Now, I also want you to give the benefit of asking me one question, which I actually coaxed one of the students to ask. What if Shani is getting into an exalted position, or what if Shani is getting into his own sign? Shouldn't the prediction change? The answer to the question is, see here, you need to understand. Does it mean all the negative attributes will go, right? You always need to understand, when you consider a graha, you need to consider the graha, 1, from the characteristic standpoint of it. He has a certain guna. Here we are discussing about Shani. Shani has a guna, Shani has a trait, Shani does certain things. And he has to go about and perform his act, give his guna to wherever he is placed. Which means whether you call Shani an exalted Shani, whether you call a Shani in Swarashi or in his own sign, whether you call Shani in Mula Trikona, that is there. But he has to go about and give his characteristic. The character of Shani will be there. But then, the way you take an exalted graha in the form of exalted Shani, the way you take something to do with what a graha in its own sign, that is important. And that is what one of the students told. Right? See, marriage is there, marriage didn't go as it was, but now this person is happily married. Right? So in other cases, how can it be? The Karakatwa will be there. Yes, both of them are there. I had an old house. Then what did I do? I broke that house. Then what did I do? After that, I built a big house. If Shani is in his own sign, if Shani is getting into an exaltation. So you should know how to actually go about and mix both of them. The character or the attributes will be there. Now, because he is getting into the bala, he has to do something good. He has to do the bala from what perspective? Get back to PAX1. What are the Karakatwas of Shani? Add. Then, which is the bhava that he is ruling as per the horoscope that you're studying? Add. This is the way you approach additional predictions. Again, Shani, Karma Karaka, Shani. So obviously near the house, there would be something to do with, you know what? One, there would be a crematorium, graveyard. In certain cases, now I do understand that it is not something which is relevant in many of the cultures, or which is not a part of many of the cultures, but it is there in some cultures or some communities where a person dies and they bury the person in their own land. Right? So if it is there in your culture, you will also find those cases here. Why? Because Shani indicates what? Property, land. So they will have somebody and they will actually bury that person itself in their own property. Right? Or what will happen? They will have a picture, they will have a photograph of a person who's dead, who's demised, who's passed on, who's no more, and they will offer worships. This will be there. There's a person. This person, her brother has Shani in Kataka Shani, and they buried the grandfather in their own native property. Near the property, there is a crematorium. In fact, the smoke that comes from the crematorium comes till the house. So you will find such fascinating predictions when it comes to just applying the bhava, the graha, what the graha signifies, and the aspects of the graha. It's as simple as that. Right? So next we are going to move on to Rahu in the fourth bhava